What's going on, everybody? I'm gonna give it a second for y'all to come in. I know a lot of y'all want to see this, but yeah, we're gonna talk about this shit. These people have lost it. They really have. They've lost their shit. They lost it, bro. Zachary Wright, what's going on? What's going on? Ruben Masagua. Ruben, man, I feel like I haven't seen you in my chats in forever. Lucas? I'm gonna go with Lucas. Look, how you gonna spell my name wrong like that, man? I got 4 letters and 2 syllables, dog. It's cool. Planet Mushy. Gutter Dandy. Isn't David Doel Canadian? Absolutely. Which is exactly why I don't give a shit about you. Stephen Harris. I'm chilling like a villain ill on penicillin. Wallace West. Bramble Bush. Yeah, you're right about that. Yom Taga. Fuzzy Slippers. What's going on? What's going on? Taj Harper. Mickey Two-Face. Anthony. Antonio. Zach Dorsey. Not to be confused with Jack Dorsey. Whatever, man. Shy Yard. What's going on? What's going on? Eddie Rowland. You were right about that, Eddie. Both sides cheat. Hopefully it will be exposed. We have a new George Bush, Clinton, Obama image. Bro, we literally have. It is literally the worst people from the last 3 administrations. You are absolutely right about that. It's wild, bro. It's wild. We gonna talk about it, though. I don't know if he's finalized his cabinet yet, but it's scary so far. I just saw somebody on Twitter say, so is COVID going to end now? I've been telling y'all that. I said the moment that Biden gets in office, all of a sudden everybody will be like, nah, man, what you talking about? COVID's not a thing anymore. Where my notification gang at? North American 8, thank you very much for the super chat. It's annoying to be the most educated in the room sometimes, watching folks celebrate while the run class about to have a damn field day. I'm telling you. It's about to get ugly, y'all. You share my video on William. Of course, I don't mind you sharing my. I would encourage you to share my video on election fraud, please. All right. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road, people. Because we about to go in real quick. What's going on, everybody? Thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of Mikasa Sukasa. Of course, as always, I'm your humble host, Niko House. I know a lot of y'all probably tired of seeing me today. This is like the fourth or fifth time we done went live today, but it's all right. I promise you, it's gonna be my last video this evening. But we gonna talk about this shit. So Zach Dorsky, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. We gonna talk about this. Now, I told y'all that if Biden wins for the next 4 years, we about to expose everybody. And I told y'all also, it won't take long. I said it won't take long because, well, the ones who have always been utilizing the movement for their own personal gain, they generally expose themselves pretty fast, right? And Lord knows, I feel like that we're kind of like in record time at this point, right? Record time. Now, unsurprisingly, your man David Doel, no, David Doel spelled D-O-E-L, not D-U-L-L, although we know he is Doel. Okay, we understand that, but his name, surprisingly enough, is spelled D-O-E-L, although it would have been perfectly reasonable for you to assume otherwise. Kevin, thank you very much for the super chat. David Doel, Mr. Rational National. Ironically, because he's not a national of the United States, but for some reason he always feels the need to stick his nose in our politics and speak as an authority on our politics. Mr. Rational National David Doel decided to post a picture today. It's already out to brunch, people. He's already out to brunch. Is this funny? Is this funny to somebody? Question: how many people do y'all know right now have no idea when the fucking next time they'll ever be able to eat anything, let alone go out to brunches, because of all this shit we got going on? This is funny to somebody. This is funny. So David Doel thought that mocking the millions of people who are about to have their lives destroyed by a Joe Biden presidency is funny. It's something to mock. Not to mention, the man looks like he's balding, like he put a wig on his head and he glued it on there. So like maybe don't like grow your hair out if you're balding in the front. Like figure that shit out, bro. You're too young to be that stressed. Anyway, this is funny. So let me get this straight. David Doel can go out to brunch and celebrate Biden's presidency. And you know why? Let me tell you why. Because David Doel lives in Canada and David already has universal health care. David Doel lives in Canada and he's a white guy, so he won't have to worry about Biden's propagation of this criminal justice system that has destroyed lives and is still destroying lives. David's likely not going to be on lockdown having COVID used as some political football, no matter who loses their life in the process. David's not going to have his house bombed because Biden already said that he's going back into Afghanistan. He's going back into Afghanistan. You know, David spent a good amount of his primary attacking people of color, journalists specifically, and activists, people of color, who would do things like hold Warren accountable. The Warren that he propped up that ultimately, of course, we knew would throw Bernie under the bus. And of course she did. In more ways than one, resulting in her taking like 15 to 20% of his vote, causing him to lose multiple states across the board. David Doel was doing that. Why? Because David already has health care. I don't give a fuck about you. David called me a grifter time and time again. He's attacked Fiorella time and time again. And we said, this isn't a game to us. We're not part-time journalists where we get to stop giving a fuck about these issues the moment we turn off the camera, because I get to go back into my nice little insulated white boy Canadian life. But the moment that Biden wins, the fact that you have the audacity to think that it's even cool to joke about celebrating somebody who was credibly accused of rape, where that rape victim, that sexual assault victim, was thrown under the bus by the entire mainstream media in order to uplift this motherfucker. Are you kidding me, bro? But we're the grifters. You hated Tulsi with the amount of disdain you have for her was getting to the point of just being awkward. It made no rational sense. Then I realized, you were one of the ones that helped me realize this. Tulsi has this really weird way, because she's a very genuine and real person, flaws and all. That's just how she is. When fake people are exposed to something like that, it's like they don't know what to do. They freak out. They overexpose themselves, and they have to shut down real, because, well, then you might accidentally expose their grift. Right? And of course, there was no he did video after video after video attacking Tulsi. Somebody who, the only candidate other than Marianne Williamson, my apologies. The only candidate other than Marianne Williamson who supported reparations. The only candidate who introduced legislation to end the war in Syria. The only candidate to introduce legislation to end the war in Afghanistan. The only candidate that introduced the No More Presidential Wars Act that would actually hold Trump accountable, even though AOC and the like killed the No More Presidential Wars Act when it went back down to the House, so that Trump couldn't be held accountable, while they pretend to give a fuck about anything that Trump does. You had everything to say about Tulsi. AOC throws, throws Tara Reid under the bus. Well, she didn't say she wasn't going to vote for Joe Biden. Like, what? What? And it's funny because I was away. I'm like, oh man, David Doel, David and them, they gonna rip AOC for this. Throwing sexual assault victims under the bus. This is what y'all do, right? Virtue signal, outrage culture. Nothing. Interesting. You know, it's funny. I never actually seen a picture of David Doel at a protest. I've never seen a picture of David Doel at a rally. I've never actually seen a picture of David Doel fighting for shit. I've seen him throw Jill Stein under the bus. I've seen him throw progressives under the bus the moment that he can make $1 off of it. I've seen him uplift TYT relentlessly, and we've seen how that's turned out. I saw him uplift Warren. And I did start to notice a pattern once again. People like David Doel don't like people of color and black people who expose that they don't give a fuck about us, that they will virtue signal and use our issues. They will use our experiences to get exactly what they want by pretending like they actually care. We care so much. We care about Medicare for all, you know, like to the point where I have to support the guy who's gonna veto it. He's gonna veto it. Okay. We gotta support him to get Medicare for all passed. Duh. Canadian logic. Don't you know? Interesting. All that BLM shit, huh? Oh, we care about the protests. And it's funny because I remember, and I talked about this, and I'm never gonna fucking stop talking about this shit because I really cannot believe this. Like the Breonna Taylor situation, like we found out that there's a whole fucking unit that was put together just to gentrify the area and get all the black people out. And that's the unit that killed Breonna Taylor. And then we found out the fucking attorney general lies about the jury agreeing that those prosecutors shouldn't have been fucking, or those cops shouldn't have been prosecuted. Well, the jury actually never had the opportunity to prosecute those cops. And people like David Doel don't really care. They don't say shit. And they don't care that not only more Breonna Taylor's about to die, more Tamir Rice are about to die, more Eric Garner's are about to die. More Jacob Blades are gonna be shot, but they're gonna be done in silence. Black lives ain't gonna matter no more, bro, because we get to go back out to brunch. This is when I've been telling y'all for a while. I've been telling y'all for a while about the left. At least the left that people think is the left. These independent journalists, they got their money. They got their security. They came from money. They got their whiteness. Some of these people are millionaires. They will never have to deal with any of the shit that y'all have to deal with. Ever. Period. They pretend to care because it's financially beneficial for people to pretend to care about our issues. Have you not noticed that? BLM, the 501c4 organization, raised millions, tens of millions of dollars that got funneled right into Joe Biden's campaign, the person who's largely responsible and made necessary the BLM movement to begin with. But what you're really seeing here is the mask coming off. You're going to see it across the board. They go from being like crypto racists, where they use the soft dog whistles. They dismiss people of color. They pretend like they're not worth their time. Like you never noticed that? Like the only black person that they uplift in the media, well, like they uplift like Breonna, right? Because if you fuck with Breonna, your career is over, as it should be. Ben Dixon, because he's a good little Negro. Some people got Uncle Toms. Progressive movement got Uncle Ben's. TYT has rewarded him for his loyalty. But that's about where the buck stops. If you dare question the white progressives in this movement, oh, then you must be a grifter. It can't be because you don't want people to have to deal with the things that you've had to deal with your entire life, or your friends or your family have had to deal with. It can't be because of the fact, like me, for example, I've been hospitalized by cops. And I like to think I'm pretty well spoken. I'm a veteran. I'm educated. I was educated at one of the best colleges in the country. I dress pretty well. And despite all that, I could be arrested. And the only reason I was able to even get out of that shit was because they just happened to look me up and figure out who I was. If that wasn't the case, shit would have got ugly fast. It did get ugly, but it would have got uglier. And that's me in Miami. Not a person darker than me, God forbid. In the deep ass South. Like Breonna Taylor didn't even get the fucking chance to run. But we out here, we just playing with the we can just joke about that shit. I'm out to brunch. I'm out not giving a fuck. That's funny. Ha ha ha. It's just satire, guys. I told y'all this was gonna happen. I said, why do you think that they're asking y'all? Why do y'all think that they're telling you not to support Tulsi at all? I said, why do you think they're not talking about the Security America's Elections Act? I said, the reason that they're not doing that is because they don't want to actually be held accountable, right? Because if you talk about the Security America's Elections Act, that means you have to acknowledge our corrupt election system, which means you actually might have to do something to fight it. And admittedly, it's a tough fight. With the DNC fraud lawsuit, me and Elizabeth and Jared were threatened. I get it. It's a tough fight. But it's a fight that needs to be fought if we're going to get anything for these people that you supposedly care about. But that's why he didn't want to talk about that. Because then you have to hold people to that standard, right? Like, why are we even talking about anything else if we're not going to talk about our elections? Why are you even a progressive? Do you actually care about these outcomes? Then you have to start going down that rabbit hole, and trust me, you don't want to end up there. Not if you're not principled, because then you're going to figure out, oh shit, I'm going to have to hold a lot more people accountable and stop cheerleading blindly. You wonder why they didn't talk about the No More Presidential Wars Act as they were, Trump is so scary, he's so big and scary. Okay, so why not talk about the No More Presidential Wars Act? Hold him accountable, impeach his ass. Use legislation to impeach him. I'm confused. What's controversial about that? Well, no, because then I would have to hold to account the other Congress people who didn't support that, even though they were saying they were anti-war also. Oh, interesting. So why didn't you say anything about the bill to end the war in Syria? Because everybody wants to use Syria as a talking point, right? Then you start to see the patterns, right? You start to see the patterns like, oh shit, I'm only allowed to like either the white man or maybe those one or two people of color who are popular because they like the white guy. Oh, that's what it is. If he don't introduce the legislation, then we can't care about it. Because then you might find some holes there. You might find some holes in their presentation. Now, I want you to remember this, ladies and gentlemen. Because in about 3 to 4 months, all of a sudden they're going to start acting like they give a fuck again. They're going to start reaching out for your dollars. They're going to start reaching out for your views. They're going to start gaslighting you. They're going to do what they do. And over the next couple of months, best believe, if you are a real one, like Fiorella, Pasta, Johnny, Jimmy, Steve and Glory and Misty and you know, Richie Medhurst, Whitney. If you are a real one, they're going to come after you. Because basically everything that you are going to cover, that you've been covering, by the way, the things that you've been talking about, the things that have been important to you, they haven't changed throughout the years. They haven't changed throughout this election. It's just that you are consistent. And that's going to be required. That's going to require you to expose them, even indirectly. You're going to have to expose the fact that a lot of these people, these David Doels out here, Mr. Brunch, you're going to have to expose the fact that, well, you don't actually give a shit about black people, do you? Well, you don't actually give a shit about indigenous people, do you? You don't really care about sexual assault or women's equity. You don't care about those people overseas that you virtue signal about. You're never going to hold Biden left. You're never going to hold him accountable. You're never going to push Biden left. That was never your goal. That was just what you were saying in order to get us to not give a fuck about you not saying shit about all the horrible things this man is responsible for doing. That's what it was really about. The whole push Biden left thing, they were never going to push Biden left on shit. What they wanted to do was to shut you up while they grifted all the way to victory. Even now, as we have literal election officials saying, hey man, shit's fucking up. It could be on accident. It could be on purpose. We don't know, but the shit's fucking up. They're like, that's a conspiracy theory. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, it always comes back to this. I know I'm black, so I talk about black issues. I know what the fuck affects us because I've been a victim of the shit. You know what they're saying? Because this is what the fuck is killing me. Black people are the ones who are primarily affected by election fraud. Did y'all know that? We're the ones who primarily suffer from voter suppression, one form or another. What happens is either our votes get fucking flipped by machines in districts that are dominantly black because of how they're gerrymandered or whatever. Sometimes it gets done by Democrats, sometimes it gets done by Republicans. Or we get removed from the voter rolls, either through interstate cross-check or other methods, sometimes by Democrats, sometimes by Republicans. And now when it was really convenient for everyone to pretend like it was only Republicans who could do this, everybody believed in election integrity. Everybody believed in election fraud. Now that we're saying, well, hey, can we just verify our vote? Can we make sure our fucking vote counted? Like, just that. Now it's, nah, fuck that. I know we were saying that we care so much about black votes being stolen before, that we cared about the Latino vote being stolen before, but we got the White House. I know we didn't get the House. We didn't get the Senate. Lost a bunch of races across the country. Have zero mandate. Not getting shit done. Actually, it's going to be worse than not getting shit done. So it's going to be what Trump was doing, plus more wars, all in silence. But let's pretend now, because like when it was, fuck them. Don't let these motherfuckers use your problems, your angst, your anxiety, everything that you've been through to boost their fucking views and their egos in the process. They don't give a shit about y'all. They don't. You haven't noticed? Like, it's a joke to them. Like these people pretend like, oh, I'm communist, I'm socialist, I'm Democrat. Bro, it's a joke to them. Your problems are a joke to them. They don't care. They literally put on a mask for the camera. They put on a mask for the camera. And then they go back to their fucking lives. They go back to brunch. This is what it is. And some people may not want to hear it. And I'm not even gonna name everybody's name, but trust me, I'm sure everybody will do something to be named in the next couple of months. Oh, we're gonna have a fucking field day. I can guarantee that shit. But these are the ones who ask you to cheer for your own demise, who told you don't stand up for Bernie. Bernie said to vote for Biden. Bitch, you're not standing up for Bernie. I'm standing up for my vote. I'm standing up for my democracy, the system that I live in, because I would like it to work for me at some fucking point. We ain't got that much time left. Not all of us got fucking universal health care, David. David catch food poisoning from eating his goddamn brunch. He gonna go to the emergency room and walk right the fuck out. No bills. You go to the emergency room. Good luck. He told you voted for Biden because David told you to. Because Jane told you, because Anna told you to. Biden has been so emboldened by people like David. He's literally moved further right since the primary. Further right since the primary. Y'all aware of this? Have y'all, like, is nobody watching this shit? And like, even as Richie just talked about the, I think he said Susan Rice. Susan Rice is being vetted right now. She's apparently like first in line for Secretary of State, responsible for the Rwandan genocide. He is literally putting genocidal maniacs in fucking charge. But Rwanda's in Africa. We already know. These people don't give a fuck about us. You know that fuck shit. Hold up. I don't live in Rwanda. I don't live in Rwanda, Canada. This is what it is what it is, bro. Like, so just keep this shit in mind. Keep track of this. Go tell these motherfuckers. Comment on their shit. Remind them who they are every single fucking day. Remind them of the people. Remind them of the blood that's on their hands every single day. Remind them how they didn't give a fuck about anything once they got the white guy they wanted in charge. Because this is what it was really about. Yeah, I know he wanted to pretend like it's a joke. That's what he's going to say. Oh, it was just joking. That's funny that you think this is a joke. It's funny. That's cute. It's cute. It really is. It's fucking sad. That's what it is. It's sad because I'm sure there's some really good people out there that actually thought that he was a good person or a genuine person. Like that he was actually acting in good faith. And I know there was people out there that thought TYT was acting in good faith. Only to find out that they were full of shit. All I'm saying is Malcolm X warned us, right? Malcolm X told y'all. Martin Luther King told y'all. They told you. Who is more dangerous to the black community? They literally used you. They didn't use me because I was smart. I caught it early. But a lot of people got used. These white liberals used you. They used your pain. They used your fear. Some of y'all, they use y'all gullibility. They got what they wanted, and now they out to brunch. Immediately throws you under the bus. So tell them. The next time one of these motherfuckers, I'm a socialist, I'm a communist, bitch. Doesn't Vouch live in like Beverly Hills? In Fidel Castro's Cuba, Val should be 6 foot under somewhere, Mr. Communist. These people who had, you don't find it weird? So everybody, before I go, everybody like at this point acknowledges the censorship, right? We all know what's going on. We've seen it. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Don't you find it weird that the ones who have least suffered from the censorship are people like David and TYT and CNN and AOC and MSNBC? That's crazy. That's funny, right? Because even Jimmy, like even Jimmy is literally the anomaly of all anomalies, and he deals with suppression. Like he is, bro. Yeah, I know y'all. Everybody sees like, oh, he gets thousands and thousands of followers. Yeah, that's cool, but he loses thousands and thousands of subscribers on a regular basis from being scrubbed. And he's the only really populist leftist who's been able to blow up like this. Lee Cam has an entire team and a network behind him. He used to be ridiculously popular on it, but now because he belongs to RT, gotta crush that guy. It's so crazy. The ones who told the establishment lies are the ones who are allowed to blow up. Interesting. And oh, by the way, people like AOC cheer for censorship, so I'm not really all that surprised. Of course she gets uplifted. They love her. We're not censoring enough. I'm telling you, the most dangerous thing to a fake leftist is a real one. That is going to be the theme of the next 4 years. Wait on it. The most dangerous thing to a real leftist or a fake leftist is a real one. Especially if you're black, especially if you're a person of color, especially if you're indigenous, especially if you're a woman, especially if you know your shit. I know a lot of y'all do. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all keep looking out for the bullshit, and I'll keep reporting on it. All right? Make sure you hit that notification bell, and make sure you're still subscribed. And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, always remember more than anything else, find your balance.